And we need overtime to decide this one after 4 quarters of play. We're all even. The extra session in a moment. This is the NFL on EA Sports. It's a little teaching moment here. Overtime rules. Remind us how this goes, partner.
Okay, so in the past, we had sudden death. First team to score wins, but no longer. Now, if the team receives the ball, scores a touchdown, they win the game. If they kick a field goal, though, or don't score, the other team gets a possession. And after both teams get a possession, then we're into sudden death. First team to score wins the game.
Nothing between these two teams for 4 quarters. Here we go to begin overtime. This is taken at his 4. And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line. The Bengal offense now gets set to head back out onto the field. They control their own destiny here. They have the football in overtime. Obviously, a touchdown would win it.
And I think teams around the league are still adjusting to the idea of going downfield, scoring a touchdown wins the game, because they were used to just going downfield and trying to get in field goal range to win a game. Still having to make that transition. Let's face it now, the ones who are doing it best know they need to go down, attack, put the ball in the end zone, and not leave it up to a field goal and give the other team a chance.
Yeah, as we said, they control their own destiny now. Once again, they'll come up on the 26-yard line, 2nd and 10.
Big stop, let's go.
The former second-round pick, this is Joe Mixon. And he will lose yardage here back at the 23-yard line. Now another timeout called for by the offense. They'll be down to just 1 remaining as we step aside here in overtime. A nickel set defensively for the Broncos here on 3rd down.
Strip that ball.
On the draw, here's Bernard. And they're going to get him down well short of the first as he can only get this to the 30. It's a 7-yard run, but it does bring up 4th down. The temptation to go for it probably there. Always is, especially in overtime. Got to punt it, though.
I think you're right. I think that you absolutely have to punt it away and trust your defense, especially play a little field position here. But you're so right about the temptation. Another way to satisfy that, though, line up in punt formation and fake it. That's another way to get it done.
So possession goes over here on the punt. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. Flacco going to bring up the Broncos 1st and 10 at their own 19-yard line. Here's Lindsey. And he'll get this up to the 30-yard line. And with just 9 seconds left in overtime, we get whistles and a timeout. So 1st and 10 now from the 30.
You can't block me. You can't block me. You can't block me.
On 1st down, right back to Lindsey. Now we're going to get a timeout with 5 seconds left here in overtime. The last run got 6, now 2nd and 4. On 2nd down, a run with Lindsey. And he'll be brought down somewhat awkwardly here, and a late flag as well. I think this one's going to be a face mask. In overtime, you have to be smarter than that.
A personal foul just can't happen. Have to have poise.
So the face mask, quite a blessing there as they'll start out of harm's way with a 1st and 10. So now it's Flacco's turn to fire here in the extra session.
We call that sack flip.
So the OT clock hits 0, and we're still not done. We'll switch sides and need at least one more OT to decide it after this. So now 20 yards to go on second down after the sack. Work to be done. Here's Flacco off the play fake to Lindsey. Toward the right sideline, but it's incomplete. And now third and very long. Are you cautious here?
I think you have to be, because the first mantra of any football game is don't lose it. Then you give yourself a chance to win it. And if you go ahead and force something now, take a big shot that doesn't pay off, you didn't help your defense out at all.
Yeah, especially here in overtime. Third and long for Joe Flacco. And that is incomplete. Another nice job there defensively. They've really stymied their passing attempts, and it continues in overtime.
And for them to do that, that means they've had to be cohesive on defense. Pressure in the quarterback's face, good coverage of not just the wide receivers, but the tight end, the running backs when they try and slip out, and making sure they're at the point of attack. When the ball's in the air, they get there and help force some of those incompletions.
The Broncos send out their punter now. And in double overtime, this needs to be a good one. And the kick's away as he angles this one for the sideline. No returning this one. It sails out of bounds, and they'll spot it right at the 20. Cincinnati now ready to take the field. And last drive, 3 and out. Still a goose egg on the scoreboard. How do they break that goose egg?
They've got to find a way to get the ball in the hands of their playmakers, get them some space, and try and make a first down and get some momentum going. It's been a struggle for them throughout the game, and that 3 and out on the last possession, that told you just how stalled they are on offense.
So who will step up here? We'll see. 18 yards on that one, and the Bengals are moving. First down. So he hooked up with a veteran there, and in overtime, that's not a bad idea. Go with the age and the experience.
Yeah, because sometimes the young guys, they give you the fresh legs and give you all that bounce. But in this type of a situation, sometimes those legs slow down a little bit as the enormity of the moment overwhelms them. The veteran guys, they tend to come through.
From all the way up at the 38 now after a good start to the drive. Dalton here from the gun. Hit from behind, and he's going to be driven down. Von Miller able to disrupt yet another pass play. That is his 3rd sack of the afternoon. And on that one, the protection just broke down.
You've got to have that leverage, don't you? We always talk about low man wins in the running game for an offensive lineman versus a defensive lineman. It's essentially the same thing in pass protection. Get lower than that defensive lineman so that you can keep your balance and keep him away from your guy trying to throw the football.
Now hold everything here. We're going to get a timeout by the offense. It'll be their 2nd and final timeout, remember, here in overtime. We'll be back. After the sack, it's 2nd and 19, and the road gets a bit tougher from here. So Dalton now. And it's incomplete. It was Bryce Callahan jarring the ball free defensively.
You got to remember, because now that we're in overtime, mistakes get magnified. So you got to walk that line between being aggressive and being careful, because that was a dangerous throw right there. You obviously could not have an interception in this spot.
It nearly was an interception. He's lucky to get that one back. Dalton now to pass. Gets it to his running back, Bernard. Here's Kevin Huber now, on for a very important punt here in overtime. Averaging over 50 yards a punt so far as this one's away. And that one hits a little too close to the goal line, and it continues into the end zone for a touchback. Flacco going to bring up the Broncos 1st and 10 at the 20. Flacco. He's going to loft it deep right sideline. And that is incomplete. Took a shot there on 1st down, but he couldn't reel it in. One overtime. How about 2? We need another. We're still even. We'll switch sides and have that second overtime in just a moment. After the incompletion, here's 2nd and 10 from the 20. Here's Flacco. He'll find Lindsey here. And he's going to get this one across the 30-yard line. Now another timeout called for by the offense. They'll be left with just one remaining here at OT. Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. Operating out of the gun, Flacco. Oh, and it's intercepted. William Jackson with a pick. So we will see yet another drive in this overtime.
For whatever reason, neither team able to finish this game off. I know that the first thought is, does anyone really want to win it? But I think that they both desperately want to win it, and sometimes you force things, and that leads to errors.
Well, it's out there for the taking. We'll see who can do it. Now the Cincinnati offense ready to see what they can do here. And right now these guys, they're shuffling a little bit, maybe doubting, because 3 straight drives have ended with them punting the football away.
Yeah, so you start pointing fingers at each other a little bit, asking a lot of questions. What are you seeing? What are you getting? Maybe trying to narrow down your playbook a little bit and maybe get simpler rather than more complex in order to try and fashion together a drive.
Now another timeout called for by the offense. They'll be down to just one remaining as we step aside here in overtime.
Please. Settles the mic. I got you, Pop.
They keep it on the ground. This time it's Mixon. And he'll be brought down. Oh, that's a face mask. Certainly looked like it. Indeed, here come the flags.
Defense.
So that flag will cost him 15. And it doesn't matter anymore how you get the face mask. Any part of it, that's going to be 15 yards.
So it all comes down here to the right foot of Randy Bullock. And now we're going to get a timeout here called by the defense. That's their second and last timeout here in the overtime session. We'll be back. So it all comes down here to the right foot of Randy Bullock. And he got it. The kick is good in overtime. He's able to split the uprights. And the Bengals are on the board first here. It's 3-0. Now remember, this one is not over, but with the time running short here in this overtime, that could very well be the game winner.
Yeah, remember now, the other team does get a possession, but when the clock runs out, that's it. So that was a well-calculated drive to use up the majority of the clock and leave your opponent with little to no time left.
Well, we thought this game would be a good one. It did not disappoint into overtime, and it took the field goal to win it.
And we always pay lip service to how important it is to play defense. And usually we focus on the big offensive pyrotechnics, right? But in this case, they got the ball back on defense, gave themselves a chance, and they capitalized on it with a victory.
And I don't care what distance out field goals from in overtime. The knees are always knocking, but he pushed it through.
Not only that, think about your snapper, your holder. A lot of nerves for them, too, because they have to do their job in order to give him one last chance to put a foot to it.
So that'll do it. For my partner, Charles Davis, and the best darn crew in the industry, I'm Brandon Gaudin. This has been a presentation